bed of the truck is where the camping activities and most of the storage is gonna happen, but the roof, on the other hand, well, it's a little useless. Besides letting in a ton of heat via the sunroof, it's pretty much just a blank canvas that today we're gonna turn useful. The rack that's gonna provide all this functionality is from Sherpa, which if you were following my Cayenne series, you have for sure seen before. I'll throw up some photos here. I love the rack and I think I love the company even more. So before I even got this truck, before it arrived, I knew we were gonna do one on this as well. The website interface, the way things are packaged and shipped, the actual quality of the product, and then the fit and finish once it's on the vehicle, customer service, and just the overall brand identity. I know not all these things are important to everyone, especially when buying off-road products, but to have those all in sync in one ecosystem, I think really does make Sherpa special. So today, we're gonna do the install, starting with our cross members and the feet and legs for the rack. So there are 4 legs. We are going to attach them to 2 cross members, one in the front, one in the rear. These get directly bolted into the OEM holes on the Tacoma roof, provided by Toyota. So I know a lot of people fear that they have to drill holes or create possible areas of leaking on the trucks when doing roof racks. Not the case. It's all into the OEM placement, so you don't have to worry about any of that. And just before we get really into this, this is all aircraft grade aluminum. This is powder coated. This is anodized. Rust really isn't going to be a problem or even a concern here. It's extremely tough and durable, both in material and finish. So what we're gonna do first is get these little plates on the roof that hide the OEM holes removed. And what we're gonna do with those is just pop them up with a trim tool or a flathead screwdriver. Got all 4 legs on the cross members. They are not tight. Let them loose so they can slide up and down. Once you bolt down the legs to the actual roof, take a measurement on each side and make sure everything's squared up, and then proceed to tighten it down. These are the feet that the rack sits on. These are made up of an OEM style weatherproofing, so like I said before, drips and leaks are not an issue. The taller 2 go on the rear, the shorter 2 go on the front. And with these feet, they made it super easy. They are stamped with whether they are the front or the rear, so they make it super easy. Before we get those up, we just have to poke a couple little holes in the roof here. So under those plastic trims that we popped off, there are no holes, as you can see. But there are holes, you can just need to feel them out. There's like this piece of vinyl, it's kind of padded. So we're gonna take a little X-Acto knife, find the hole, sink into it, and then just cut out just enough for that screw to get in to the hole. Like that. That's plenty. One hand, a little sketchy, but you get the idea. I've got both cross members front and rear in there. These are really the foundation of the rack. They are rock solid and they're ready to have these side plates installed. So these run from the front to the rear. They mount to those cross members through these two slots, one on the rear, one on the front, and then the remaining cross members go in the remaining slots on the side. So once these are installed, we really do have the outline of the skeleton up on the roof. You can see the cross members are threaded on each end. So they get some of this black hardware, washers, and then once those are on, we'll do the fairing. And at that point, we'll torque all these side screws down. I want to wait till the fairing's on just so we have kind of the three major sections that are going to keep this super rigid. If it's straight, we'll tighten it. If it's not straight, we'll fix it and then tighten it. But now we'll throw these up there. The rack is now rock solid on the roof. The Tacoma and the rack have become one. If you move the rack, you are in fact moving the Tacoma, which is perfect. Now we can move on to the remaining 4 cross members, and we're gonna follow a similar process where we put them up there, just lightly tighten so that we can still move them back and forth, because with those, there's quite a bit of play where you can move them to where you need be. For me, I'm installing Rome case mounts, as well as MaxTrax mounts, both from Sherpa as well. They make mounts for pretty much everything you can imagine or want to put on the rack. Beyond those two things, all I'm gonna be using it for is canoes and kayaks, which don't really require any specific bracketry. So this is gonna be perfect. We'll get those cross members up, I'll pull out the Rome case and the MaxTrax, and we'll kind of adjust it and see exactly where we want it. max tracks and our Roam case all mounted up now. So the last thing really to do here is torque down all these Allen heads all the way down the rack. The only ones that are tight are the ones that were mounted to the actual roof. The rest are just loose so we can move them around and get that stuff placed where we needed. So we're gonna tighten those all down, no torque spec, just hand tight, and then we're ready to move on. Rack fully installed, the max tracks are up there, the Roam case is up there. The Roam case is empty, but what we're gonna fill it with is some first aid stuff, some bike repair kits, some winch recovery gear once that's installed. Basically some stuff that we're not gonna need all the time, but it is gonna come in very handy when you do need it. Now, all that's left to do is take the truck outside, show you what the rack looks like complete. I'm gonna have a link in the description below to this particular rack, but if you have any vehicle that has a 4x4 option, there's a pretty good chance that Sherpa makes a rack or something for your vehicle. So hit the website, do a little browsing, see what you can find. The Tacoma is gonna get a bunch of work done in the coming weeks. There's already some stuff done before this video goes out. So subscribe to the channel if you're into this stuff, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you for watching.